Harper, Anna's devoted golden retriever, would come home each evening and greet her with a wag, a bundle of vitality prepared to settle down. Yet one brisk fall evening, Harper brought another stray puppy with her, and Anna froze in, incredulous that Harper's discovery would alter everything. The serene suburban was bathed in the golden hues of sunset. The street where Anna, a freelance artist, resided with her golden retriever, Harper. She left the bustle of the city 1 year ago and moved to this quiet area a year ago. She is in her early 30s, focused on her comfortable little house and Harper, who had been by her side ever since she had adopted her from A. That night, 2 years ago, Anna sat on her balcony with a sketchbook. Harper had gone on her regular evening excursion, which is a routine the dog has, while sipping chamomile tea while the cool breeze rustled the leaves. Having grown while strolling through the neighborhood park before jogging back home in time for supper, Anna checked the time. When she opened the front door and heard the familiar voice, Harper said, "I'm running late," and got up to call Mom. A smile appeared on her lips as she heard the sound of paws on the gravel, but she soon realized Harper wasn't alone, which was odd because the person following her closely was A. The stray's fur was golden like Harper's, and she was a smaller, scruffier version of herself. Its eyes were large and inquisitive, and it was somewhat matted but unmistakably identical. Anna's breath caught when Harper squatted down, her heart pounding. Harper whispered, looking from her dog to the newcomer, "Who's this?" Harper circled the stray while wildly waving her tail, seemingly introducing a long-lost buddy. The stray stepped, hesitantly but confidently moving forward. Anna extended her hand, and the puppy sniffed it. Hesitantly, before giving the puppy a little lick, "Are you Anna?" At examining the pup's strange behavior, she saw that the stray bore a striking resemblance to Harper, lacking a collar and appearing somewhat underfed. A pang of interest and sympathy. "Where did you discover this tiny?" Harper, Anna inquired, but the dog just gave a single bark, seemingly in an attempt to. A feeling of uneasiness overcame Anna as she led the two dogs inside. This was no mere happenstance. There was something unique about this stray that seemed to tell a tale. Harper and the stray were led by Anna, who was waiting to be covered, into the living room, a cozy area that was filled with the warm glow of a table lamp. She grabbed a dish and filled it with water, placing it down for the always welcoming stray Harper. With her nose waving her tail, the host pushed the bowl closer to the new visitor, seemingly urging the dog to drink. Anna knelt down to the stream and ran her fingers through it as the stray lapped at it ravenously. The texture was rough and disheveled through its fur, yet underneath the tangles she could sense the beginnings of a velvety, healthy coat. Sadly, she muttered, "Where have you gone?" After all this time, her artists, I was unable to ignore the intricacies that Harper and Stray had the same golden fur, expressive almond-shaped eyes, and even a white fur patch. Harper sat next to the stray and noticed the striking, almost eerie, likeness on its breast. With a protective stance, as though to convey that this is family, Anna reached for her phone and took a few photos of the two dogs, aiming to post them side by side on a local lost and found pet group. But as she gazed over the photos, doubting GW's cautious manner and the fact that the stray didn't appear to be someone's lost pet, even though its matted fur indicated that it had been living alone for a while, there was still a connection between it and Harper. Something felt more deliberate and profound that evening as the two dogs snuggled together on. Anna sat up late, researching Harper's bed in the living room corner, scrolling through internet forums. Her search history was rapidly filled with terms like dog, in an attempt to find any explanations for how two dogs could have such a similar appearance, and story about siblings getting back together and determining whether dogs are related attracted her attention. Stories of sibling dogs finding each other and getting back together. Heartwarming stories of dogs from the same litter reuniting after years apart were recounted in the article by several. Unknown instinct. Could it be that Anna's heart missed a beat? The following morning, Anna made the decision to look into the possibility that Harper and the stray were siblings and called the local animal. "Hello, this is Anna. I got a golden retriever from a shelter where she had adopted Harper." Harper, a retriever from your shelter, started approximately 2 years ago. I was wondering if you knew anything about her. Regarding her past, such as whether she had siblings. Lisa, the woman on the other end, seemed reluctant yet friendly. We don't usually have thorough records, particularly for dogs that come from congested. Lisa clarified if they are rescued from the streets or shelters, but let me look over our files to see if anything jumps out. Harper and the stray observed her closely from their vantage point as Anna paced the room, her heart racing. After what seemed like a lifetime, Lisa, their heads tilted in synchrony on the rug, returned to the line, and this is what I discovered. Harper approached us as part of. We oversaw a litter of puppies and other canines on the grounds of a rescue from an abandoned house. Harper may have had siblings who weren't saved, but we were unable to account for all of the pups. Anna's breath caught, suggesting that Harper might be connected to this stray. Lisa answered cautiously, "It's not impossible, but without doing a DNA test." Anna hung up the phone, her mind racing, but there's no way to tell for sure. Observe the two dogs as they were teasing one of Harper's old chew toys. "What do you think Harper looked like?" Harper said, "Is this your long-lost sibling?" And the stray joined in, seemingly echoing her. Anna's delight made her chuckle, relieving the strain that had been rising in her chest as she was determined to discover the truth. Anna made the decision to proceed and scheduled a visit with the neighborhood veterinary clinic for stray if. As she scratched behind her, she informed the dog, "If we're going to figure this out, we need to make sure you're healthy first." The vet's eyelids closed in satisfaction as the stray's ears leaned toward her touch. The visit was uneventful but instructive, and the stray is generally doing well, Dr. As she looked at the puppy, Martinez stated that it was a female, roughly 2 years old, only. Like Harper, Anna is underweight, but nothing can be fixed by a healthy diet. Brought up the potential sibling relationship, and Dr. Martinez gave a nod. Considering it carefully, it's absolutely worth investigating, she added. "If you'd like, we can do a DNA test, though it won't be inexpensive. However, it will provide you with a decisive response." Anna didn't hesitate to execute it, saying her resolve was rising when the veterinarian swabbed the stray's cheek. Anna was both excited and worried about what may happen if the test verified her suspicions. What would it signify for her and Harper? And could she still defend maintaining the STR if it didn't? Anna noticed small but indisputable links between the two that evening while they awaited the DNA findings. Canines mimicked one another's motions, including head tilts and tail waggling. Harper frequently allowed the stray to win their games while they were playing together in perfect sync, acting as though they had known each other for ages. Anna sat on the couch and watched the tug-of-war battles with a mix of wonder and hope, regardless of the outcome. A week later, she muttered to herself, "This little one belongs here and is already a part of our family." Dr. Martinez called Anna and gave her the results of the DNA test. She shivered as she responded, Harper and the stray lying at her feet, side by side. "Hello, Anna." Dr. Martinez started by giving you the results. Anna's heart pounded and, "The two canines are genetically identical," Dr. Martinez said, pausing in her cautious but kind tone. Anna gazed down at the two dogs as the words "their siblings" hit her like a tsunami. "Are they sisters?" she whispered as they nudged each other playfully on the mat. Awe-filled voice, yes. Dr. Martinez acknowledged that they probably share a common origin. Anna's mind was racing with feelings as she thanked the veterinarian and hung up. Harper had discovered her sister, but on the one hand, the revelation was amazing. It also brought up a lot of questions, such where the stray had been, how she had survived, and why she had returned. Anna made the decision to post her results on social media that evening. 2 years ago, she shared a side-by-side picture of Harper and the stray bee with a touching message. Last week, she adopted Harper, a golden retriever mix, from a nearby shelter. Brought home this stray who resembles her exactly, and DNA tests revealed that I'm very thankful that these two were able to reconnect, sisters. If anyone knows anything, please share it. Please get in touch with us on the stray's history so we can piece together her tale. The post went viral right away, with hundreds of comments and shares as people were enthralled with the reunion story. Sisters sharing ideas, support, and encouragement, some of whom had similar tales of pets returning to missing family members, while some merely conveyed gratitude for. A few days after Harper and the strays bond, Anna got a message from A. The letter began, "I think I might know this dog," and a woman named Lisa claimed to recall the stray. She used to. My family and I fed her when we could when we were wandering around an old farm outside of town. We called her Goldie because of her gorgeous coat, but we were never able to catch her. Anna's heart raced as she read the message. Could this hold the secret to revealing the stray's past? She promptly replied, setting up a meeting with Lisa at the farm to find out more. Anna loaded Harper and the stray the following morning. Goldie was formally put into her vehicle and driven to the address Lisa had given. The farm was nestled on A. As they entered the driveway, they saw a peaceful road with aging barns and open fields illuminated by the morning's golden light. Lisa came out to welcome them, her gentle eyes brightening when she saw the dogs. In order to greet the stray Goldie, Lisa whispered softly while kneeling. I haven't seen her in a long time. She approached me reluctantly, her tail wagging gently. She would frequently visit here during the months, scrounging for food, and Anna would listen. As Lisa described the stray's appearances, we were constantly curious about her origins. Lisa went on to say that she was. Anna asked her, do you think she lived on the farm? She seemed shy but kind, as if she had been accustomed to being around humans. Lisa looked over the land and shook her head, saying that the farm has been. She may have been born nearby, but she may have stayed after being abandoned for years. Anna chose to investigate the region with Harper and Goldie because it seemed familiar and intriguing. They strolled through the fields, the dogs enthusiastically investigating each patch of grass and bush as Goldie halted as she got closer to one of the ancient barns, her ears perking with what Anna said, "Is it, girl?" as Goldie scurried in the direction of the stray's gaze. Harper followed the two dogs as they vanished through a gap, while barking excitedly. Anna ran after them in the worn wood, her heart racing within the barn. It was dark and smelled of damp wood and hay. Goldie and Harper were surrounding an old blanket pile with their tails waving and growling in the corner. Anna approached warily, her breath. She caught sight of a faint carving on the wall above Goldie's litter blankets. 2019. Anna's words were inscribed deeply on the aged yet readable wood. A shiver went down her spine as her fingers traced the carving. It was a hint. Lisa entered the barn minutes after the property was abandoned, possibly by someone who had taken care of the litter. Later, I detected a mixture of astonishment and wonder on her face, something I had never seen before. Looking at the sculpture, she remarked, the person who left it must have been concerned about those puppies because the finding raised more questions than answers. But knowing that this was connected to Goldie and Harper's beginnings gave Anna a feeling of closure. Anna inhaled deeply as they exited the barn, taking in the golden light of the. She had a renewed sense of purpose as the afternoon wore off, not only to provide Goldie with a loving and safe home, but back at home that evening, Anna she started writing a journal post about their journey and her views after seeing a picture of Half-Proper and Goldie next to her computer, flowing easily as she thought back on the journey that had led them to this point. Life can sometimes lead. Harper said that she encountered Goldie not by accident, but because of their relationship, which led us back to the people we were intended to find. Harper has showed me the genuine meaning of family reunion by bringing her sister home, and she is stronger than time or distance. At home, Harper and Goldie's relationship started to change after initially being inseparable due to their strong bond. As a result of their acquaintance, tiny personality variations began to show. Harper, on the other hand, was gregarious and eager to welcome guests and play fetch in the yard, stayed quiet and careful, frequently withdrawing to her favored corner when she felt overstimulated. Anna saw the sisters engage in conversation, admiring their bond while yet feeling a little worried about Goldie. Although the stray had found refuge in Anna's house, it was evident that she had led a challenging existence. Visible and unseen scars one morning as Anna was making breakfast, she observed Goldie moving close to the back in trance, her movements restless and her tail drooping. Anna asked if she wanted to go outdoors, and Harper opened the door to let her out. Harper scurried past her, excited to investigate the yard, but Goldie paused and gently sniffed the air before moving into the grass. Anna trailed behind, observing Goldie as she walked to the far corner of the yard, pressing her nose to the ground as she appeared lured to the boundary fence. Harper ran over, barking playfully, as if looking for something, but Goldie stood there without answering. Later that day, Anna made the decision to reach out, her body rigid as she stared off into space. Goldie seemed uneasy. She explained over the phone when she wanted Dr. Martinez for guidance. However, even though she's eating and sleeping okay, there's something strange about the way she acts, like she's still looking for something. And before responding, Dr. Martinez listened carefully. Dogs with traumatic histories frequently require time to acclimate. Goldie may be assimilating her new environment. Have you thought about consulting a behaviorist to assist her with her surroundings or attempting to make sense of them in light of her memories? I simply want her to feel at ease. So Anna nodded and made a note to check into it. She whispered, "Safe and love." And she will, Dr. Martinez informed her that you had already patiently given her another shot at life. Over the next 2 weeks, Anna concentrated on establishing a routine that would benefit both of them so that she would grow to trust and feel at home. She planned frequent walks, fun, and quiet moments where the dogs feel safe. She would sit with Goldie, stroking her fur or just being there, and gradually Goldie would start to calm down. She began playing fetch with Harper and followed her lead when they went on walks, wagging her tail more frequently. When the sun set one evening, Anna saw something extraordinary. Goldie and Harper were lying. Harper softly pushed Goldie with her as they sat side by side in the living room, their bodies curled together in a mirror image. Nose, and Goldie playfully batted it back for the first time. It was a tiny gesture, but even with these indications of improvement, it gave Anna hope. There were still times when Goldie's history seemed to cause her great distress, especially when big thunderstorms were approaching. During a stormy night, Anna discovered Goldie shivering beneath the dining table with her ears pushed back in her eyes. Wide with terror, Goldie Anna murmured softly, lowering to her level, "It's okay." Harper patted over and lay down next to her as she extended a hand for Goldie to smell before softly petting her head. Sister and placing her chin on Goldie's back. The scene made Anna cry, despite her anxiety that Goldie wasn't. Harper's sister, who was by herself, seemed to be able to relate to her suffering in a way that no one else could. Anna started looking for strategies to boost Goldie's confidence since she was determined to help her get over her concerns. She taught Goldie how to relax by using a weighted blanket and playing soothing music during storms. She also contacted a nearby trainer who specialized in working with rescue dogs since she wanted to feel safe. Elena, a kind-hearted person, came to the house to evaluate Goldie. "She's come a long way already." Elena watched as Goldie approached her warily. "Her relationship with Harper is amazing." Anna and Elena created a training program that concentrated on helping her feel more confident. Harper was exposed to Gold's triggers gradually and through positive reinforcement, incorporated her joyful energy into the sessions, providing her sister with support. The epiphany occurred while visiting the neighborhood park. It was a bright afternoon, and the park was crowded with. Harper, as usual, raced forward, eager to explore, surrounded by families, joggers, and other dogs. At first, Goldie remained beside Anna. Elena suggested that she take her time and walk along them. Anna nodded to set the pace, giving Goldie plenty of time to gradually adapt, but undoubtedly, the stray started to unwind as she observed the other dogs and smelt the grass from a secure distance. And when a friendly Labrador came up, she even wagged her tail. By the time the excursion was over, Goldie was trotting beside Harper, her ears alert and her manner composed. Anna. Back home that evening, Anna thought about the development and couldn't help but grin. Her heart swelled with pride. Although Goldie still had a long way to go, they had transformed her from the frightened stray who had come on there. She was the family's cherished member, and they were constructing a life full of trust and love. And as Anna got ready for bed, she saw Harper and Goldie curled up with him again, and their breathing matched. It was as Goldie continued to adjust, she was reminded of the strength of family in all its manifestations by a sight that made her feel grateful. Anna started to observe minor but enduring difficulties with her new existence, which suggested the intricacy of Goldie's. One morning, as Harper and Goldie were strolling along a peaceful neighborhood trail, a jogger wearing Goldie paused in her stride as a brilliant orange jacket came up, her body rigid and snarled in a deep, guttural growl. Anna had never seen her do this before. "Way easy," Goldie Anna remarked, kneeling next to her and softly petting Goldie's hair, attempting to calm her. But the dog's eyes never left the jogging until he was far out of sight, lady. When Anna told Elena about the incident that day, the trainer T was quite different from Anna. Stated that although she's usually very composed, something about the jogger, possibly the bright jacket, seemed to set her off. Elena gave a contemplative nod, noting that rescue dogs frequently have triggers connected to traumatic experiences in the past. The hue. It's crucial to pay attention since someone's movement or even their scent could trigger a bad memory for her. These instances and try to desensitize her. Anna experienced a pang of pity for Goldie since she thought her adorable dog would. Her heart was broken by her history, and she decided to spend as much time as necessary helping Goldie get over her worries. Harper started displaying her own behavioral changes in the interim. Although she obviously loved her new sister, Anna sensed that she was no longer the only dog in the house. When Anna calmed Goldie during storms Harper or gave her additional attention during training, jealousy began to seep in. Would occasionally push her way between them, demanding her fair portion of love, which Anna understood she had to. To make sure both dogs were loved equally, she started giving Harper extra time. Playing their favorite games together and taking her on walks alone was a tricky balance, but Anna was adamant. One evening, while Anna sat on the couch, she tried to keep her small family harmonious. She was cuddled up with Harper and Goldie on either side when she got an unexpected call. It was from A. I just wanted to say hello to Lisa, who identified herself as a volunteer at the shelter where Goldie was discovered. We were all cheering for Goldie to get better, and Lisa added sweetly that she's such a special puppy. Find a decent home. Anna grinned, her heart bursting with appreciation for what she's doing. Great CD has been adjusting, but she has advanced in ways I can't even fathom. Lisa said, "It's great to hear about life without her." Goldie's story moved her. As everyone at the shelter is aware, she was discovered guarding a young child close to an abandoned construction site. Anna's breath caught the puppies in the litter, and her mind raced. Yes. Lisa acknowledged that the puppies were nowhere to be found when she was taken in. Goldie was obviously very protective, so it's conceivable they were taken or wandered off before we got there. Since she had been taking care of them, the revelation provided fresh insight into Gold's actions, and I wondered whether Gold's careful manner and persistent anxiety were caused by the death of her pups. The strong tie between a mother and her offspring made Anna feel a renewed sense of duty to provide for them. As Goldie laid her down that night, she gave her back the security and affection she had lost. "I'm very sorry for everything you've gone through," Anna said quietly, placing her head in her lap. "I swear, sweetie, that I will see to it that Gold's background is revealed." Also gave Anna a new purpose. She started looking into nearby shelters and rescues and contacted them to see if any of. She was aware that there was little chance that Goldie's puppies would be located, but she couldn't help but think of getting back together. In the interim, Goldie told Harper about her missing family. "Your sister is a tiny hero," Anna informed her, scratching behind her ears, that she had given her all to defend her children, and that she was now a member of our family. Harper came closer to Goldie, softly nudging her with her tail, as though she understood every word. Her nose the weekend after, Anna got a call from a nearby shelter that we recently taken in A. A staff worker stated that the young dog, who fits the description of one of Gold's puppies, is a little older now, but her markings are strikingly similar. Might it be one of Goldie's? Anna's heart raced. Puppies. She made plans right away to go to the shelter with Goldie to see whether the two dogs would recognize each other. When Anna and Goldie got to the shelter, they were shown a fenced-in play area with a lively little dog. Waited while the employee clarified that we've been referring to her as Daisy, because she's quite. Goldie is amiable, but has shown some reserve around other dogs. Her reaction was instantaneous when she saw Daisy. Daisy, for her part, froze, her ears perked up, and her tail wagging hesitantly. Seemed uncertain at first, but when Goldie got closer, the two dogs sniffed and her posture relaxed. Each other warily before Daisy's little excited bark, which Anna observed in. All when Goldie's expression changed, becoming lively and waving her tail fiercely as she and Daisy started circling one another, their motions like a dance. and it was evident that there was as Anna was ready to bring Daisy home. She made a connection that was more than just words. Couldn't help but be struck by how fortunate everything was and how much joy Goldie had already brought into their life, and they were now bringing Daisy home to continue growing their family. It was a happy but difficult moment, and Anna delicately presented Daisy to the house to give Goldie and Harper enough room and time to get used to their new surroundings, and Goldie was ecstatic to have. Harper's response to getting her puppy back was more subdued. She periodically gave out a curious look as she observed the new addition. A gentle growl when Daisy let Ed go too close, and Anna understood that it would take some time to bring the three dogs into harmony. Established a rigorous schedule to prevent any perceptions of partiality, and mealtimes were planned with each dog having their. To maintain fairness, allotted location playtime was watched over, and Anna spent individual time with each dog to deepen her relationship with them. But Goldie seemed to adopt the position of guardian with newfound vigor. She followed Daisy all the while at night, as though she was terrified of losing her again. Goldie chose to sleep next to Daisy in the cozy corner that Anna had set up in her room, cuddling up on her typical bed. Harper, the younger dog, withdrew to her typical location and watched the. One afternoon, while Anna was folding laundry in the living room, she was intrigued and mildly envious. Observed Harper sitting by the window, her stiff stance, her eyes focused on Goldie and Daisy playing in the yard. Anna crouched down next to Harper, her ears twitching back in a noticeable show of discomfort. Feeling excluded, Harper stroked her fur and said quietly, leaning closer. A tiny sigh escapes Anna's fingertips. "You're still my particular girl, Anna. Promised her. But I need your assistance to make it work, because our family has grown." Harper licked Anna's palm, as if she understood, and then Anna thought it was time to wag her tail a little. Create a stronger connection between Harper and Daisy, she started by getting Harper involved in. Harper gradually started to relax when Daisy complimented her throughout training sessions for her patience and composed manner, even starting to play with Daisy occasionally. But even though the two dogs were becoming closer, Anna couldn't get rid of the. She frequently saw Goldie looking at Daisy with a mixture of love and a sense that she was clinging to something deeper. Grief as though recalling the puppies. She was unable to spare Anna's heart, devoted friend, and she pondered how to assist her in recovering. When speaking with Elena over the phone, Anna expressed her worries. "Goldie appears content with Daisy, but do you think that the sadness in her eyes is still there? She is still grieving for her other puppies." So Elena probably responded that dogs can grieve similarly to people, and even when she has Daisy back, she may still be affected by the loss of the others. Anna thanked him. "The best thing you can do is give her a loving, stable environment and let her process in her own time." Elena started including quiet bonding periods because she was determined to provide Goldie with the comfort she needed. She would brush Goldie's hair as they settled into their evening pattern of sitting with her, while Harper and Daisy played together. Fur and used calming voices to reassure her that she was loved and protected as the weeks went by in a suite. As change started to take place, Harper and Daisy became closer. Their light-hearted exchanges increased in frequency, and natural Goldie appeared to calm down as she witnessed Anna and her family developing close relationships. Could observe that the dog's affection and trust were developing daily, but the trip wasn't without problems. Difficulties on a rainy night. Goldie's crying roused Anna. She discovered Goldie pacing close to the back door, her gaze flitting nervously to the window outside as the rain beat down. Anna knelt next to Goldie and wrapped her arms against the glass as the house trembled from the odd thunderclap. "It's okay, girl," she whispered over her quivering body. "You're safe here, Goldie." Leaning against Anna, but her restlessness persisted. Harper and Daisy gently approached Harper after noticing her concern. Daisy sat close to Goldie, nuzzling her side and softly waving her tail as though Anna was moved by the sight of the dogs attempting to console her. It seemed as though they were aware of Goldie's suffering and were. Anna sat with them through the night, providing a cocoon of warmth and comfort while they did their best to. Assurance that appeared to allay Gold's anxieties when the storm moved on in the morning. And it helped ease some of the residual stress in the home. Goldie's steps were less tense, and she interacted with. One evening, Anna felt a renewed feeling of hope for their mixed family as Daisy and Harper were more at ease. As she was preparing dinner, she heard a happy noise coming from the backyard and turned to see the three dogs playing together. Goldie and Dee stopped to give each other a little nuzzle before chasing each other in circles, their tails swinging wildly. Anna left her heart behind and returned to the game as Harper barked with excitement, and her eyes were bright with joy. Swelling at the sight of my lovely family, she said out loud, her voice full of emotion, and the dogs fled. Harper pushed her hand, and Daisy licked her as they showered her with love. Goldie's eyes were filled with appreciation when Anna comprehended, and she placed her head against her knee. How far they'd come. It hadn't been an easy path, but each obstacle had strengthened their bond, and Goldie had discovered her home. Daisy had located her mother. Harper had accepted her new sisterhood, and they had a strong friendship. Was indestructible, demonstrating the strength of love, endurance, and the heart when life started to settle into a joyful rhythm that Anna couldn't ignore. Goldie's small family of 3 dogs had grown closer, and she felt a sense of satisfaction, recovered a lot of her self-confidence, and Harper's initial hesitation had completely changed as Daisy's youthful enthusiasm made their days brighter. Accepted her position as the older, wiser sister, but she still harbored a persistent curiosity about. Anna wondered if there were any more undiscovered aspects of Goldie's history. Anna came upon a message from Lisa, the shelter volunteer who had initially shared Goldie's story when she was going through her emails. Backstory. Anna's heart skipped a beat as she saw the new lead in the Goldie story in the subject line. Hello, Anna. The email started as she clicked it up. I hope you're okay. Goldie and the rest of your pack is doing great, and I wanted to let you know about something fascinating. A local rescue organization got in touch with us recently regarding a dog they discovered close to the construction site where Goldie was saved. The dog has characteristics with. Anna's mind raced. Might this be a Goldie relative? Would you be interested in meeting this dog? Let me know. She responded right away, saying she was excited to see the dog and find out more about Goldie's missing puppies 2 days later. When Anna drove to the rescue group's premises, Goldie, who generally remained calm, appeared particularly alert. As they got closer to their destination, her ears pricked up and her tail waggled a little, as though she could sense. Anna was welcomed by a gracious woman named Teresa, who guided them to an outdoor area, indicating that this excursion was unique. A sleek, medium-sized dog with fur that mimicked Goldie's stood within the pen. Nervously, close to the wire, we've been referring to her as Luna Teresa, who clarified that we discovered her walking close to the scene, and judging by her behavior, we believe she is wary but kind once she warms up to you. Goldie's response was swift and forceful. She froze, staring at Luna with what may have been a pack. Huge eyes, followed by a quiet, high-pitched bark while her tail wiggled wildly. Luna gave a gentle response to a sound Anna had never heard from her before, making her ears perk up as she approached warily. Goldie and Luna gingerly sniffed at each other when Teresa unlocked the gate to let the 2 dogs meet at the fence. Initially, but soon they were surrounding one another with excitement, noses nuzzling and tails wagging while Anna watched. She was crying in amazement, since it was obvious that the 2 canines remembered each other while Anna completed the necessary paperwork to adopt Luna. She couldn't help but experience a range of feelings. Happy to see Goldie again with a family member, but there were more unanswered questions about her past. Greater than before, why Goldie and her pups had been left behind, and how many more of her. Harper was first concerned that Luna's arrival would cause another wave of adjustment, because there might still be pups out there back at home. Maintaining her distance while Daisy enthusiastically attempted to make friends with the newcomer Goldie, but she felt more comfortable sticking to, getting near to Luna and showing her the house and yard as though they were reconciling. Anna saw that Luna shared. Some of Goldie's actions include favoring the same cozy corner of the room and tilting her head in the same manner when she's curious. Couch. But Luna had her own worries as well. She recoiled at loud noises and, determined to assist Luna in adjusting, she avoided specific parts of the yard as though tormented by memories of her time on the streets. Anna, who seemed to be torn between happiness and fear, asked Eleanor for counsel. She said she'll play with Goldie and Daisy, but she abruptly withdraws and hides once Elena suggests setting up a secure area for Luna. Anna turned a corner of the living room into a peaceful space where she could retreat without feeling overburdened, into a comfortable haven with toys and warm blankets. And she began utilizing relaxing methods to help Luna unwind, such as relaxing music and lavender-infused sprays. Despite the difficulties she faced, Luna gained confidence every day and strengthened her relationship with Goldie. Revealed that the two canines were inseparable and frequently seen lying next to each other. Harper also warmed up to Luna by playfully tugging on a toy jointly or on the side. As the four dogs lounged together one evening, Anna's initial reluctance gave way to a protective instinct. Surge of thankfulness. Her house was more crowded and joyful than before, and there was no denying the relationship amongst her canine friends. However, the mystery surrounding Goldie's history persisted until late one evening when Anna discovered. As she gazed at the records Teresa had given on Luna's rescue, she noticed a grainy. A name and a spray-painted emblem were just barely apparent in the corner of the picture of the deserted work site. Although Anna didn't recognize, she chose to use her laptop to look into it. The construction company's name into a search engine and found that it had filed for bankruptcy years prior. Although one, according to the Post, a dishonest breeder has utilized the location as an illegal animal dumping ground in an attempt to. Anna's heart fell when she understood the full scope of what she had done to elude investigators. After Goldie and her puppies persevered, Anna contacted Lisa and Teresa to suggest together, they organized a community event to increase awareness of abused and abandoned animals. The event, which included adoption drives, informative seminars, and a fundraising for nearby shelters, was a great success, highlighting the suffering of rescued animals and honoring their tenacity. Goldie, Daisy, Luna, and Harper. They made a special appearance, inspiring many attendees with their narrative. Anna felt at peace as she observed her dogs interacting with guests. The journey to this point had been arduous and difficult, but it had also been incredibly fulfilling. Goldie's narrative. As the days stretched into weeks, the focus shifted from survival to love, mending, and the strength of second chances. After first being anxious, Luna accepted her new life with Anna and the other dogs, playing freely in the yard. Gold's mother's tail was wagging happily as she raced Harper through the lawn or played tug-of-war with Daisy. As she took care of Luna, her instincts blossomed and she developed a closer bond with the younger canine than ever before, but Anna was unable to. One afternoon, while Anna was trying to get rid of the idea that there was still more to learn about Goldie's enigmatic history, she discovered a box of old photos and paperwork she had saved from her first job while organizing the garage. Among them was Goldie's initial intake form, which was filled in with notes regarding her illness, and the curiosity prompted Anna to return to the spot where she was discovered. She packed Goldie and Luna into the car in the hopes that the journey would help her become closer to knowing the whole tale. Harper and Daisy gazed out the window, their tails wagging, as Anna vowed to come back. Before long, the drive to the deserted construction site was peaceful, with Goldie and Luna seated near one another When they got there, the back seat was covered in weeds and the skeletal. Anna strolled carefully through the region, the remnants of partially constructed buildings serving as a clear reminder of the area's neglect. Dogs by her side, looking for any clues that could reveal Goldie's past before she was saved as. Luna abruptly paused as they were walking, her nose twitching and her ears perked up. Goldie did the same, raising her tail in alertness as the two dogs appeared to be focused on A. With her heart pounding, Anna slowly approached the site and noticed a crumbling portion of a wall toward the far end. She picked up a little metal tag that was partially buried in the soil and wiped it off, exposing a faded yet readable. Her stomach knotted as she saw the name Everbright Kennels, which she had previously researched After a dishonest breeder on the website took a picture of the tag with her phone, Anna decided to look into the history of the kennel. She got in touch with Lisa and Teresa to share her research and see if they had come across any additional. The following day, Lisa called Anna with some shocking information. I've been researching about dogs connected to Everbright Kennels. Goldie wasn't the only dog we rescued from that region, according to our records, as we had a few others. Others arrived at the same time. Some were swiftly adopted, but some may still be in foster care. Can you help me track them down? Anna said hopefully, and Lisa agreed. Anna's heart jumped at the prospect. Anna spent the remainder of the day getting ready after pledging to email the foster family's contact details. Herself, in anticipation of a possible reunion, wondering how Goldie and Luna will respond to seeing additional members of. The following weekend, Anna made plans to take Goldie and Luna to one of the foster homes with their group. Their enthusiasm was evident as they got into the car, and when they got there, an elderly woman named Margaret, who had been caring for Shadow, a sleek black canine, was very. Margaret, who was initially bashful, led them to the backyard where the dog was lounging, but he has since made great progress. As soon as Goldie and Luna saw Shadow, the black dog, they instantly woke up and began to wag their tails wildly. He first sniffed warily before identifying his previous packmates. A flurry of wagging ensued. Margaret gazed in awe as the tails joyfully circled and barked. Margaret replied in a hoarse voice, "This is amazing," tears flowing down her face. As Anna watched the dogs, she couldn't help but smile, and I couldn't help but wonder if Shadow had family out there. "Interact, as if they were destined to cross paths once more," she remarked quietly. Anna couldn't stop admiring the closeness between the dogs as they drove home with Shadow, so she made the decision to formally adopt Shadow, realizing that he was destined to join their expanding family at home. Harper and Daisy welcomed the, jumping with excitement, sniffing him from head to toe and wagging their tails in a few days. Shadow blends in perfectly, joined the group, his composed manner enhancing the other lively personalities, while Anna went on. She contacted local journalists in an attempt to raise awareness of the predicament of rescue dogs, presenting the amazing. Goldie's account of her family reunion touched people's hearts and caused a stir of assistance to local rescue groups, funds flooded in, and more. One evening, while Anna sat in the living room with her friends, volunteers signed up to assist with shelter efforts. Pets. She thought of how much had changed since Goldie, her shy, undernourished puppy, initially came into her life. Brought home had developed into a self-assured and affectionate pack leader. Every dog had an own personality and narrative, but collectively they had established a family based on love, trust, and tenacity. Goldie now sprawled out on the couch next to Anna and sighed with satisfaction as Luna nestled up next to her. Daisy, always the mischievous one, was sleeping close to the hearth while Shadow and Harper were asleep. While sleeping, Hannah lay on her back and caressed Goldie's fur. Goldie turned her head and said, "You've come so far, haven't you, girl?" Her heart was bursting with thankfulness. As the fire blazed, Amber's gaze met Anna's, seemingly saying, "We've come this far together." Anna experienced a deep sense of calm as the room filled with the gentle sounds of sleeping dogs. Her adventure with Goldie and her pack was about creating a family and finding happiness in the most unlikely places, not only about saving animals. Anna was unable to shake a goring despite the happiness of Goldie's expanding pack and the touching reunions. She had a feeling of unfinished business since she knew that finding the metal tag from Everbright Kennels would haunt her thoughts. The whole truth of Goldie's past was crucial for her mental health, as well as to raise awareness of the. One evening, while browsing through her phone, Anna came upon a systemic negligence linked to the breeding business. Her heart raced as she saw a news report about continuing investigations into illegal breeding facilities. Everbright Kennels stated that the investigation detailed years of purported abuse. Goldie's condition was mirrored by examples of abandoned dogs and falsified paperwork. When Anna initially discovered her, she contacted Lisa to ask if she could put her in touch with anyone connected to the. After a few days of the investigation, Anna was on a Zoom chat with Mark, a reporter who had been following the. Goldie's case may hold the key to resolving this entire operation, according to Mark's Everbright narrative for months. Calm, yet urgent voice, if we can demonstrate her link to Everbright and locate others who are similar to her, we may permanently shut them down. What can I do to support Anna? She asked her resolve. Mark clearly paused before responding, saying, "We'll need evidence, documents, witnesses, or even previous workers who are willing to testify. Have you observed anything odd or questionable related to?" After giving it some thought, Goldie Anna mentioned the other canines she had discovered through Lisa, some of which might still. Mark's eyes brightened when she said, "Have microchips from Everbright. Could that help?" Indeed, It would be a game changer with a new purpose if we could link those microchips to Everbright. Anna started working with Lisa and other foster families to get data on canines that were taken from them. Additionally, she made an appointment with a veterinarian to check for microchips in Goldie, Luna, and Shadow, hoping that history may offer important proof that the veterinarian visit caused conflicting feelings. Gold's microchip remained undamaged, but the documents linked to it were lacking and most likely altered during. Luna's chip from the breeding procedure was unregistered, but Shadow's had a. Anna sent an old phone number for Everbright Kennels to the dim lead. The results to Mark, who pledged to look into it more. While Anna was dealing with it challenging, should she permit her dogs to participate in the court procedures, subjecting them to possible stress and media exposure? Given that the inquiry could be hampered one evening, should she give them attention or shield them from the mayhem? She told her neighbor and close friend Carol, "I just want to sit on the porch and watch the dogs play in the yard." Anna remarked in a worried voice, "What's best for them? They've already been through a lot. What if this brings?" Carol put a comforting hand on Anna's shoulder and brought back unpleasant emotions for them. "They will trust you no matter what you decide since you have provided them with a loving and safe environment. Anna, but keep the other dogs in mind. Still out there, but what if what you did may save them?" Anna nodded. Her heart ached, knowing that Carol was correct. It was about all animals imprisoned in the same harsh system from which they have fled, not only Goldie, Luna, or Shadow. When Mark called with a shocking announcement, "Anna, we discovered a former Everbright employee is willing to speak out, but they must remain anonymous for safety reasons," he stated. Cited Goldie's particular statement that she was one of the most hardy and courageous dogs they had ever met. Anna's. "What did they say about her that she shielded the younger pups?" "I was breathless." Mark claimed that even when she was hurt, people refer to her as the protector. It seems as though she protected lives. Anna's eyes filled with sorrow. Amber eyes scanned the yard like a true spy as she looked at Goldie, who was relaxing on the porch steps. Despite her feelings, Anna said, "Guardian, what do you need from me?" And Mark laid out the following steps: recording the dog's recuperation journeys on camera and sending in testimonies of their conduct and health. He also advised Anna to get ready for any interviews that might come up, since her narrative would strengthen the case against Everbright. Anna spent the following week gathering as much information as she could, captured Goldie and her gang having fun in their new existence, showing how they went from being abandoned rescues to. In addition to working closely with Lisa and Teresa gathering, she had thriving family members. As more foster families shared similar experiences, the probe gathered steam, with March reports revealing public awareness animal welfare groups supported the cause. Donations flooded in, allowing shelters to demand justice for the pets that had suffered due to Everbright negligence, extend their activities, and save additional creatures from dangerous circumstances. In spite of the advancements, Anna was unable to. Ignoring the rising tension in her home, Goldie's keen observation seemed to. She remained near Anna's tender presence in order to feel the gravity of the situation. A continual source of consolation, while Luna and Shadow showed faint indications. Anna realized she had to reassure her because of the uneasiness their light-hearted energy caused. Pack one night, when everyone was gathered in the living room, she whispered her, "I know things have been a little different lately," she continued, her voice full of love and resolve. Stroking Goldie's fur, "But I swear that all I do is for your benefit." And Goldie nuzzled Anna's hand, her soft eyes expressing a secret admiration for you. Realizing that despite the difficulties, it served as a brief but potent reminder that their relationship was unshakable. Anna was invited to appear on a local news station as the public's pressure on Everbright grew. The prospect of sharing Goldie's tale was intimidating, but Anna understood it needed a chance she couldn't miss. So she meticulously practiced her speech in order to express how urgent the situation was. As she celebrated the tenacity of her cherished pets, the scene was set for the pivotal moment in Anna's battle for. On the day of the interview, Justice would face a situation that would try her bravery and dedication to the creature she loved. There was a mixture of excitement and anxiety in the air when Anna woke up early. Goldie lay curled up next to the bed, her heart racing as she practiced the points she wanted to discuss in her mind. Sensing the stress of the day, Anna reached down to stroke her, taking comfort in her devoted friend. Goldie waggled her tail in silent certainty as she whispered to this girl, and by late morning, Anna was ready and clothed. She wore her finest business clothes, which she hadn't worn in years, and made sure her jitters were barely managed. Goldie sat at the door, alert and vigilant, as though aware that she was a part of the notes that were carefully tucked into her bag. The plan Anna had previously called the shelter to confirm that the officer who had abused Goldie was there, agreed to give her a rare chance to address the issue head-on by allowing her to share her tale during a staff meeting. Goldie trotted behind Anna when she got to the shelter, her leash slack but her stance alert, and the staff was happy to see her. Some looked at Goldie with recognition, but there was a noticeable tension in the room despite Anna's warmth. Emotions in the rear of the room that ranged from curiosity to guilt. Officer sat still, staring at Goldie Anna as she started her presentation by presenting herself and Goldie. She told how she met Goldie and how she changed from a terrified stray to a self-assured friend, and how the shelter's carelessness contributed to the dog's agony as she talked. The feeling she had been holding inside for so long made her voice stronger. Anna continued, looking across the room. I want to make one thing clear. It's about accountability, not blame. Dogs like Goldie depend on us to act as their advocates. When we fail our protectors, they suffer the consequences. Goldie sat quietly at her feet. The staff members shuffled uneasily, with some nodding in agreement as her solid presence gave Anna's statements more weight. Others avoided making eye contact, but at last Anna looked at the officer, who sat still with his mouth clenched. Anna remarked, I'd like to hear from you. All eyes fell silent as he spoke in a measured but strong tone. Why did you spray her that day? Turned to face the officer, whose cheeks flushed under the inspection, and cleared his throat before speaking in a tentative tone. He continued, his eyes darting to Goldie. I thought she was a threat. Anna nodded her face, and I panicked, not thinking I had just reacted. She was snarling. Illegible. And do you think she poses a threat? The officer shook his head, then said no, I was incorrect. I can now see that Anna took a big breath to stabilize herself, and we all make errors. What counts is how we grow from them. Goldie is more than just a dog. She is an example of forbearance and tenacity, but we must establish a system that is independent of their power to pardon us. The officer gazed down with his hands firmly clutched in his. He added, I'm not sure how, but I want to make it right, Anna. Sensing his honesty, I relaxed. You can begin by working with me. Goldie's story can serve as a turning point for all dogs, not just her, to make sure this never occurs again. When someone entered via these doors, the room was alive with soft whispers as staff members looked at one another and nodded. With a cautious but resolute face, the officer looked up and met Anna's gaze. Okay, he said. Anna grinned and felt a wave of relief as she glanced down at Goldie, waggled her tail as though she could feel the change as well. This is just the beginning, Anna. Goldie's tale isn't just about what happened, but also about what we decide to do next, he continued, addressing the room. After the meeting, Anna felt more hopeful, and the director of the shelter came up to thank her for her bravery and requesting her to conduct a number of staff sessions. The officer persisted in asking if he could. Anna agreed to spend time with Goldie in order to better understand her, gently sniffed his extended hand before tentatively licking him outside the shelter while Anna knelt next to him. You did it, girl. Goldie is putting her arms around her faithful friend. Who changed hearts today, Goldie? She whispered, tears flowing down her face. Together, they strolled back to the car while licking Anna's cheek and wagging her tail steadily in the rhythm of joy. The weight of As Anna drove home from the shelter, the events of the day were replaced by the hope of a better future. Replayed in her head, the feelings were still unfiltered, but she had an unquestionable feeling. Goldie rested her head on her paws as she slept quietly in the car, seemingly understanding Despite the seriousness of what had just happened, Anna realized that the confrontation was only the beginning. Change never happened overnight. Goldie had to be persistent and dedicated. But today was a day of justice, when her pain was acknowledged, and Anna looked in the rearview mirror. You're amazing, you. Her eyes meet Goldie's warlike, trusting gaze. Be aware that Goldie gently wagged her tail in response to Anna's emotional whisper, demonstrating their link. That night, Anna and Goldie sat on the porch together, watching the sun set below the horizon, stronger than ever. The cricket's soft hum provided a calming background to the flurry of ideas going through Anna's head. When her phone buzzed, she noticed a thank you note from the shelter director. "We're all affected by what you said today, so let's plan the first workshop for next week." Anna grinned. After a minor but noteworthy triumph, she put the phone down and turned to face Goldie. "It appears that you're going to assist us in showing people how wonderful dogs like you can be, busy girl." Anna's words made Goldie's ears perk up, and she leaned in her side, creating a picture of contentment that captured the essence of the occasion. Was cut short as Anna heard the crunch of gravity in the driveway. She turned up to see the shelter officer descending. Anna stood with her heart racing as he got out of his car with a small box in his hands. Aware of the tension, Goldie remained by her side without yelling at the police. Came slowly, his face apologetic. "I hope I'm not bothering him." Started speaking uncertainly, wanting to adequately apologize after Anna crossed her. "You already accomplished that today, so what's this about the officer?" Arms her eyes steady. I was hesitant to offer Goldie the box, but I reasoned that it might be a first step in making amends. Anna carefully opened the box to discover a personalized leather collar with Goldie's name engraved on it. As she ran her fingertips over the delicate craftsmanship, Anna's breath caught in gold letters. "It's beautiful," she exclaimed, gently looking at the officer, "but more will be required to put things right. I'm here to assist since I know." He spoke his voice earnestly. "Workshops are right. We need to improve, and I need to improve, Anna. I've been considering what you said today." After considering his comments for a while, she agreed. I'll hold you accountable if you're sincere about this, but it will require more than simply showing up. You must actually listen and discover that." The officer nodded, his face indicating that he would, and I'm grateful for. Anna held out her hand to give me an opportunity, and he gave it a strong shake. Goldie moved slowly and deliberately as she stepped forward, her nose twitching as she sniffed at his boots, and surprised Anna by holding out his hand. Goldie licked it, wagging her tail. With a hint of sorrow in her voice, Anna added, "She forgives you, but don't. I won't take it lightly." He said he would stand and give Goldie one more glance. Before returning to his vehicle, he expressed gratitude one more for everything. Anna turned to Goldie as she vanished down the driveway, putting the new collar around her neck. "It fits you," she said, later that evening, praising the way the gold lettering captured the last of the light, saying, "You deserve this, and so much more." As she lay in bed, Anna's mind went back to the trip she and Goldie had taken together from the frightened stray. Gathered on her porch to listen to Goldie, the self-assured friend who had spurred change, had evolved into a representation of tenacity and optimism. Their tale was one of transformation rather than only survival. Anna's understanding of forgiveness and the lasting connection between people and animals. "We're going to change things." I went out to stroke Goldie, who was curled up at her feet, her breathing steady and sweet. Goldie shifted in her sleep as she said, "We're going to change the way people see dogs like you." For the first time in what seemed like an eternity, Anna let out a gentle sigh and experienced a deep sensation of calm. With every step they took forward, they were paving the road for a better future, but their battle was far from ended. The days that followed signaled the start of a new chapter, not only for Goldie but for all dogs in need of a second chance. Phase for Anna and Goldie. News of Goldie's story swiftly spread, attracting local media attention and animal welfare organizations. Anna was inundated with letters for volunteers willing to lend a hand, and as money poured in to support the workshops she had imagined in their sleepy town, people started to, who had never given stray dogs much thought, began to view them as beings rather than as annoyances. With her kind disposition and tenacity, Goldie is deserving of kindness and care. Became the spokesperson for this cause by going to workshops and events with Anna, who passionately presented their tale with genuineness. The sessions at the community center were a huge success. People from all walks of life were drawn to the local police station, schools, and centers, Anna said, openly discussing her experience with Goldie and displaying before and after pictures that demonstrated the transformational potential of. One evening as Anna was getting ready for another workshop, she was startled by a tap at her door and opened it to reveal love and trust. Saw the cops standing there grinning sheepishly. I didn't want to bother him, but I wanted to. He handed her a packet containing a proposal for a new project and added, "To give you this." Officers participated in a training course on how to behave humanely with stray animals. Anna accepted the packet and began to scan over its pages. As she read the comprehensive plans, her chest grew proud. "This is amazing," she remarked, offering ideas for community involvement and partnerships with nearby shelters. The officer nodded with an earnest expression in his voice, saying, "Thank you. Thank you for taking this seriously. I'm grateful to you and Goldie for opening my eyes, and I hope this could be a first step toward reconciliation." Anna grinned and shook his head. However, it's a positive move as the suggestion was quickly accepted with. Officers attending training sessions conducted by Anna and Goldie, a shelter employee, frequently joined her in showcasing the benefits of love and patience. The community gradually started to change. One lovely afternoon, Anna and Goldie went for a walk, demonstrating how Kali's perspective is changing toward empathy and understanding. After hectic weeks of conferences and events, through their favorite retreat in the park, Anna saw families playing, kids laughing, and dogs chasing balls as they were walking along the walkway. Through their efforts, the rescues were able to find loving homes, and Goldie joyfully trotted behind Anna, wearing her new collar. Shining in the sun, people frequently paused to say hello to her. Some even recognized her from the local news. Goldie, who is always kind and trustworthy, wags her tail whenever she meets someone. Her soulful eyes show excitement and thankfulness as they. Anna noticed a familiar face sitting on a seat as she rounded a bend. It was the police throwing a ball for a Sprightly. He looked up and gestured for Goldie and Anna to join him. "I had adopted her a few weeks prior. He was a mixed breed dog," said, pointing to the dog to meet Luna Gold, and the two dogs carefully approached Luna. Anna giggled as she watched the dogs dart across the green field, smelling each other before bursting into playful bows. "You've come a long way. So have you." "Perfect," Anna remarked, turning to face the officer. "You and Goldie have made a difference here," he said in an honest tone. Anna nodded. She kept her eyes on the pets, demonstrating the power of love and a little trust. Anna felt a tremendous sense of pleasure as the sun started to set, bathing the park in a golden glow. Began as a single act of compassion and developed into a movement that changed Goldie's life as well as her own, and innumerable others were home that night. Anna took a seat on the porch swing, and Goldie nestled up next to her. The gentle sounds of crickets and the occasional owl hoot filled the air as Anna sipped her tea and thought about. She scratched Goldie and whispered, "I never could have imagined the journey that had brought them to this moment. You've taught me behind my ears what it is to have the courage to stand up for what's right and to never give up." Goldie wagged her tail in return, her eyes half closed in satisfaction, and in the silence of the night, Anna experienced a deep sensation of appreciation for the difficulties that had molded her, the relationships she had made, and the steadfast devotion of the. As the stars filled the sky, Anna's dog became her traveling companion, said in a low voice to Goldie, "We'll keep going, girl, and we'll keep changing the world." Not happen right away, but Anna was confident that she and Goldie could build a better future together with just one paw print. If you were inspired by Anna and Goldie's tale at the time, we would love for you to. Please join us in promoting compassion and kindness. And don't forget to subscribe for more amazing tales of perseverance and optimism. And if you're prepared for yet another touching adventure, click on the following video. It's one you won't soon forget. Wish to overlook.